Hello guys, Punty98 here, and today I'm going to be showing you a way of better recording. So it's a program called Dxtory, and I personally like it better than Fraps and MSI Afterburner and like the other things like Bandicam, because this has great performance to great quality ratio, and yeah, file size is reasonable. So let's get started by opening Dxtory, and right here, I've been playing some zombies lately, so make sure the profile is set to default, and you can ignore this first window. Now for the overlay settings, make sure that use default settings is checked for absolutely everything, and make sure that video FPS, write file FPS, and record status are all selected. Now you can select whatever color you want here, and you can move the thing that indicates your frames per second while playing to whatever side of the screen you want. I leave it at default 69. I don't know why they did that. So yeah, so to the next tab, the folder settings. I have selected my fastest hard drive, which is 161 megabytes per second, and at that speed you'll be able to record 60 frames per second and 1080p full HD with no problem at all. Now to select your hard drive and check if it's fast or not, you click add folder and you select whatever hard drive you have or what you want to select. Like for example, I'll get my 5400 RPM drive, and let's just go file history, let's select that folder. Now it's 5400, it's not a very fast hard drive. This is a 7200 RPM. It's a 6 gigabit per second drive, and when I benchmarked it, it's 2 terabytes, and I click run. As you can see, it does that stuff there. All you need to do is run it and click OK. Now, say I selected this drive, I click the benchmark, run. As you can see, it is not very fast, and to record at 1080p 30 frames per second, which is the cap that YouTube displays their videos at, it's not good enough. This here, I would have to record at 720p 30 frames per second. Actually, not even 720p. It would have to be a slower resolution, lower resolution than 720p to record at 30 frames per second, which is the minimum to record at that you should be recording at. So I'm just gonna deselect that drive. I'm gonna stick with my fast one. Now, if you have a slower one, just and you selected something like 30 frames per second, just keep playing a game while recording and check if it stays at a solid 30 frames per second for the right file FPS. It should be the right number and not the left one. Now, let's go into the hotkey tab. And for the hotkey tab, I set it to F9 because it doesn't interfere with any games so far. And for the single screenshot, I have F11 because just, yeah, it's the default, I think. Now for the movie settings, make sure it's selected to use default, and if click the drop down box and select the Lagrith lossless codec, because I find that codec is the best performance to quality ratio that you can get, probably ever. Yeah, if you do not have it, I'll put a link in the description to download that codec, and I'll also put a link into the description for the trial version of Dxtory. Now, once you've selected your Lagrith lossless codec, click the little button there, and if you have a dual core and above processor, make sure that's selected. And if you have a good computer, like a powerful one, select RGBA, which is the highest quality recording mode. And yeah, by default it's going to be RGB, which is true color. But if you have a medium to low range computer, select the YV12 mode. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, make sure it is 30 frames per second, once again, unless you have a fast hard drive like I do. And if you do have a fast one, you can do 60 frames per second, and that will benefit in slow motion capture. So you'll be able to, in the editor, slow down your video, and yeah. So, and for the output, make sure that file output is selected. Directory output is just for things like XSplit, so you can live stream. For file format, I recommend AVI. So, yep. And then include mouse cursor. That's just an option. You can do whatever you want. For this area here, the clipping, I wouldn't touch that if I were you. I don't really want to muddle around with those settings. I know what they do, and they're kind of pointless for me. So now to the scaling. If you have a fast computer, you can probably play your highest resolution, record at your highest resolution, sorry, and that is if you have a fast hard drive as well. So I leave it at 100%, so 1080p. If you have medium to low range hard drive and computer, click size and select your resolution that you want to record at. If you have, one of those computers that play, say, Battlefield 3 at the lower settings at 60 frames per second, record it at 1080p. The recording at 720p would be perfect. Otherwise, keep muddling around with these settings here, the width and the height, just to check if you are recording at your solid frame rate that you selected at the frame rate option here. So I'm going to leave it at 100%. Now for the audio. Select your device. Make sure it's on the tab 1 and 2. If you want to record your microphone as well, press that and select your microphone that you want to record with. Otherwise, I only record my speakers with a DX Tory or my headset. That's if it's plugged in. PMC should be, I think it should be default. And under the audio format here, I think this will be by default. Drop it down and select this. No, sorry, this. I like this format because it's good quality and yeah, it's fast. But for my next recording, I'm probably going to leave it at these settings because it will suit it better. Right, next, the next tab, screenshot settings. I think you should leave it at default. It doesn't really harm your computer to take a screenshot in like a split second. So on to the next settings. If you have a fast computer, like multiple cores, select your processing threads to the highest threads you have. So if you have a 2 core, select 2 cores. If you have a 4 core, select 4 cores. 6 cores, 8 cores. Yeah. So I wouldn't touch any of this unless you want to limit your frames per second. Unless you know what these do, like I do, but I don't need any of this because it records perfectly fine with pretty much no performance dip. And from then on, we are done, pretty much. So yeah, I hope this helped. Please give me any feedback, in the comments section down below. Like the video, subscribe for more content, and yeah, the downloads will be in the description. Bye bye.